I'm your host with the most local 93. You're joining me for Desire Decorum, Book 2, Chapter 9, Until Dawn. As the castle ruins near the Edgewater State, Mr. Sinclair clenches his fists as he stares down Duke Richards. I have had enough of you and your claim over Lady Bella. And what are you going to do about it? Let's put an end to this once and for all. Duke Richards, I challenge you to a duel. Mr. Sinclair! Pistols at dawn. I've always wanted people if I'd ever... There must be another way. I don't want you to get hurt, Mr. Sinclair. I know, but I can't stand idle any longer as Duke Richards dishonors you. Duke Richards looks over Mr. Sinclair from head to toe and lets out a hearty laugh. Come, sir, do you truly wish to embarrass yourself like this way? Lady Bella can't be worth your life. I would die 10 times for a chance to free her from you. It's a shame your history proves that you can seem to keep your woman around me. You should return to your station before your reputation is damaged beyond repair here. You gently push Mr. Sinclair back and step in between the two of them. Read my lips, he won't lose me. You, however, never had me to begin with. Because of your storybook love, it didn't save your parents and it won't save you now. You can feel Mr. Sinclair seethe next to you as he glares at Duke Richards. The challenge has been issued, your grace. What say you? Or perhaps you are too much of a coward to accept. Duke Richards inhales sharply and his face reddens as he hisses in Mr. Sinclair's face. I do not dare call me a coward. I believe he just did. Oh, why are you suddenly smiling at it? Well, your grace, shall we duel for Lady Bella's hand? Why would I? She is already my fiancée. And the winner receives her hand, and the loser will never again set eyes on Lady Bella. But Mr. Sinclair, I accept your terms. Tomorrow dawn, this very spot. Enjoy your last night together, Lady Bella. Soon, you'll never see Mr. Sinclair again. Duke Richards brushes past Mr. Sinclair, bumping a shoulder along the way. You watch as he disappears into the thicket of trees, leaving the two of you alone. Mr. Sinclair's knees falter, and he falls on a large boulder beside him. Ernest, are you all right? I just challenged Duke Richards to a duel tomorrow. Mr. Sinclair's fingers drum against his leg. You take his hand, squeezing it tightly. Ernest, you must know. I have the utmost faith in you. Mr. Sinclair cups your cheek, smiling as he gazes into your eyes. Your support is all I need to get by. I can do anything with you by my side. Then it's a good thing I'm not leaving the spot. Mr. Sinclair kisses your forehead gently. Just think, by this time tomorrow morning, my engagement will be over legitimately, and we can finally be together. I cannot put into words how much I am anticipating that. Mr. Sinclair glances around the clearing and sighs. But we should leave. There are preparations to make. And go where? I can't return to Edgewater to strategize now, and not when Duke Richards will be doing the same. That is quite all right. Send word to the rest to meet at Ledford Park. I have plenty of room there, and after our trip to Grovershire, I'm certain they will do anything to assist us. Ernest, that's brilliant. You stand and extend your hand to Mr. Sinclair. He laces his fingers with yours as the two of you retreat back through the forest. Later that afternoon, after sending word to the others, finally arrive at Ledford Park with Briar. The two of you look around in awe at the sight of the large manor. Yes, it's very pretty. Oh my! Mr. Sinclair owns all of this? It's so large, I could easily lose myself in these gardens. Just then, Mr. Sinclair appears through the front doors and briskly walks over. Lady Bella, Miss Dally, please be welcome to my humble abode. You own quite a magnificent property, sir. Thank you, my lady. I take great pride in maintaining it. And it shows. I must admit I'm now quite intrigued to see what the interior looks like. I wonder which rooms you had in mind. Friar. You and Mr. Sinclair catch each other's eyes and then look away quickly. You notice Mr. Sinclair's cheeks turning slightly pink. Shall we join everyone else inside then? They're all waiting for your arrival. You nod and take Mr. Sinclair's outstretched arm as he leads you inside. In the parlor, you find Miss Parsons, Prince Mead, lounging on sofas, while Mr. Harper inspects the decorations above the fireplace. Mr. Sinclair has been gone for quite a long time. I wonder if he lost his way in his own house. It is a large property. I think it's safe to say we have finally found our way back. Lady Bella at last, and Miss Dally, it is a pleasure to see such beauties here. I only wish these were happier times. This duel could be the chance we have been hoping for, though. A way to break my engagement without ruining my reputation. Only duels were still a thing. And should Duke Richards die in the process, well, I don't think Minnie will be devastated to see him go. We should begin with preparations, for example. I need to choose a second. Forgive me, a what? Essentially a person who will stand beside me throughout the duel. And they'll also load his gun if he needs to take another shot, and yada yada yada. But aren't you fighting the Duke? Well, a second only steps in should the worst come to pass. But more than that, a second attempts to broker peace between the two parties and make sure the duel is on an honorable affair. I never knew you were so knowledgeable about dueling, Mr. Sinclair. My father taught me they are honorable affairs, and that a gentleman must be familiar and prepared for one. I'm more traditional with the French duel, where you take your glove off and smack them in the face. So who'll be your second, Mr. Sinclair? Ah! No, not you. You're a fierce boy, Pugsley, but I don't think you're the second Mr. Sinclair needs. Oh! I need you to stand by my side instead. Can you do that? I'm glad Pugsley will look after you. As for my second... Mr. Sinclair looks around the room, his gaze stopping on Mr. Harper. Mr. Harper, will you stand by me? No one is better suited than you. Me? I'm just a groom. I'm not a gentleman or titled. Mr. Harper, you're one of the few people who has as much cause to despise Duke Richards. He's the reason you lost your job. You also have military training, and I trust you with my life. Then, yes, I'm honored to accept. However, if the worst comes to pass, I don't know how to fight in a duel. They're far different affairs than anything the Navy trained me for. Do you know how to shoot? Good. Do you know how to aim between his eyes? Good. You are the man, good sir. While I hope you won't have to step in, I can teach you. Mr. Harper follows Mr. Sinclair across the room before turning back to you. Lady Bella, might I borrow you to stand in as Duke Richards in this scenario? I don't mind helping, but only if you address me as your grace. Sure, why not? You puff out your chest and haughtily approach Mr. Harper and Mr. Sinclair. I, of course, am the best Duke on the face of the earth. Bow before me. I see someone's having fun with this new role. Why wouldn't I? For it is I, Duke Richards of Carlington, the most vile, foolish creature ever. Mr. Sinclair guides you where to stand, directly across from Mr. Harper. You stare him down, a small smile playing across your lips. On my count, you'll turn away from each other, take 10 paces in the opposite direction, then fire your pistol. Prepare yourself, Lady Bella. 1, 2. Stomp away from Mr. Harper, one number at a time until 10. Immediately spin around, point towards Mr. Harper, ready to fire. This is what you get for stealing my fiancée. Mark my words, Lady Bella is mine. You hear me, mine? That was rather convincing. You think so? I was trying so hard to embody his wickedness. Once again, your mother's acting ability shines through. Mr. Sinclair walks around Mr. Harper, carefully observing his stance. Not bad at all, but you'll want to plant your feet back more firmly on the ground. Also raise your arm. Duke Richards is much taller than Lady Bella. You'll want to aim for his heart. Like this. Precisely. Now, once more. You and Mr. Sinclair and Mr. Harper practice his shooting stance again and again. After a while, Mr. Sinclair finally steps back and smiles. Why not just go outside, find a tree, give him a real gun, and actually practice his shooting while we're at it too? I know he can shoot, but I'm just saying it's better to just be in the moment and just have the whole feeling and make it natural. That was perfect. Should the need arise, I think you're ready. Duke Richards won't see it coming. Wouldn't he? The terms of the duel are quite clear. Take 10 paces and then shoot. That reminds me, what we still need is... You've confused the man now. Now you need to explain it. Okay, he won't see it coming. The bullet. The bullet. Mr. Sinclair retrieves a dueling pistol off the wall and holds it up for the room to see. This... a weapon of choice. Dueling pistol. You should maybe go see if it works. You move closer and run your fingers across the set of initials intricately engraved in the hilt. WFS. Weddings featuring silhouettes? Or wilting following Shakespeare? Try Walter Fitzwilliam Sinclair. He was an ancestor of mine and the former owner of this pistol. I bet he was a dueling champion. Many years ago, he challenged a man after the love of his life was dishonored. The bullet grazed his enemy's hat, and that was enough to force him to concede. He declared this his lucky pistol from that day, and if you trust in it with pure intentions, your aim will be true. Mr. Sinclair, that story is so romantic. Even I can see the similarities. It's rather fitting that this is the pistol to be used. It'll be another story of true love versus a wicked man. Mr. Sinclair looks down at the pistol, gripping it tightly in his hands. You notice his jaw clenched, determined. It will help tomorrow, and bring down Duke Richards like he deserves. I swear it. Mr. Sinclair sets a pistol in a nearby desk and glances around the room at everyone gathered. If you all will be so kind, I have a bit of writing to do and would prefer some privacy. Let me guess, last will and testament, which is honorable. You know, you gotta be prepared just in case. Of course, sir. I wanted to see these famous Ledford Park gardens since the flowers are in bloom. That sounds splendid. I'll join you. Parsons leads Mr. Harper and Prince Hamid through the parlor doors. You and Briar follow behind, but Mr. Sinclair calls after you. Bella, wait. Will you remain by my side? I'll make your excuses to the others. Besides, I just had another idea. You gonna go make some more... Wait, no, that was the other person that did cinnamon rolls. Never mind. Briar winks as she closes the door behind her, leaving the two of you alone. Mr. Sinclair sits down at the desk and begins scribbling words into a piece of parchment. You don't need to ask to have me here. What are you writing? My will. I realize that if I should die tomorrow, I don't... Ernest, nothing will happen. I hope not, but I can't say with complete certainty. I want to be prepared. I need to get this on paper, just in case. Sit beside Mr. Sinclair as he writes furiously on the page, only pausing briefly to dip the quill again. Know that I want everything I have to be yours. But wouldn't that mean Ledford Park could remain the Duke's? That's why I'm especially stipulating Duke Richards cannot touch any of this. None of my estates will be absorbed into Duchy Carleton. Mr. Sinclair takes your hand and brushes his lips against your knuckles. Perhaps if we can't stop it, at least you'll have a safe place where Duke Richards cannot touch you. Listen to me, Ernest. I will become your wife and head mistress of this household with you by my side. Words cannot express how I yearn for that day, Bella. Mr. Sinclair smiles and continues working on his will. After scribbling a few more lines down, he signs it with a flourish and seals the paper with wax. Closes your hand around the folded paper. I know I can count on you to carry out my wishes if I should lose my life. I will guard it with my life. You tuck the will neatly away in your rectangle. You have nothing to worry about, Ernest. It's safe with me. Thank you, Bella. Just then, you hear a knock at the door. Briar pokes her head in. I don't mean to intrude. I just wanted to check in and see if you're all right. Thank you, Briar, but I think we just finished. I only need to scope out the castle ruins this evening. You walk over to the window and see the sun begin to disappear into the horizon. But the sun's starting to set. It'll be dark by the time you return. You can't possibly go by yourself. It would be dangerous to go alone. Which is why I thought you could accompany me, Bella. Oh, in that case, that's fine with me. Let me talk to my groom about a horse. I'll meet you in front of the house. As soon as Mr. Sinclair leaves the room, Briar sits beside you, nudges you gently. Be frank with me, Bella. How are you doing? Honestly, I'm worried about the duel. Will I be rid of the Duke, or will Mr. Sinclair be gone from my life? I know I'm not a fortune teller, but I can assure you that Mr. Sinclair has a plan, no matter the outcome. I know things are tense right now, so I brought something to lift your spirits. Consider it my duty as your best friend. Why am I suddenly worried, all of a sudden? You shouldn't be. I was just thinking that it's going to be such a cold night all alone with Mr. Sinclair. No, it won't. He can warm my bones. I mean, what? And you never know where the evening will take you. Don't you think you should dress appropriately? Briar unfolds a golden, intricately embroidered shawl and scarlet dress. You fiddle with the dress, feeling the soft, thick fabric between your fingertips. It's beautiful, Briar, and would certainly keep me warm. Forget that. Mr. Sinclair wouldn't be able to... I didn't touch nothing. What? Briar. Oh, come now. Don't tell me you haven't imagined it. You walk across the room, trying to conceal the blush warming your cheeks. Your gaze wanders back to the dress. Well, he would like it. This could be the last night on Earth. Don't you think you should leave a lasting impression? Wear a lady in red to keep warm while you spend your time with Mr. Sinclair. I'm sorry, I was imagining something else. Okay, so why are they just very lackluster? I'm serious. Like, is it me? It's like it's red versus this And the only other thing is the thing, like a drape over, I guess is what it's called. A drape over? I could be wrong. So, the dress would be rather becoming, but Mr. Sinclair loves me for me. I don't need any fancy new dress to impress him. Oh, fine. But if he doesn't keep you warm enough tonight, I will have words. No, I didn't change my goddamn mind, leave me alone. You laugh at Briar and head down to meet Mr. Sinclair at the front of the manor. Immediately, outside the front doors, you find Mr. Sinclair tending to 2 horses. Enjoying yourself, Ernest? All the more now that you're here. Mr. Sinclair helps you onto the horse's back before getting on to his own, and the 2 of you ride off. A short ride later. You and Mr. Sinclair finally arrive back at the castle ruins. The 2 of you slide off your horses and roam around the clearing. This is the place. It's so quiet. I'll be but a minute. I need to count out the paces. You settle down and sit on a large boulder nearby. Take whatever time you need. I'll make myself comfortable over here. And remind me what I'm fighting for. Mr. Sinclair begins walking in a straight line from the stone, counting to himself with each step until 18, 19, 20. That'll be the distance between Duke Richards and I. Are you absolutely certain you're ready? I mean, I want him to be in the frame of mind where he's ready. Are you absolutely certain you're ready? Well, there's the wind to consider, the glare of the sun. Doesn't sound too difficult. But I should also count out the paces again, just to be certain. Oh, all right. Do what you need to. I'll be just over here. Sigh as you watch Mr. Sinclair count out the paces again. 5, 6, 7. 2 hours later. I don't blame him. He's getting in this frame of mind. I don't blame him at all. Your eyes flutter from exhaustion as you listen to Mr. Sinclair count out the steps over and over. 20. If the sun rises from there, I might be blinded. But if there's a strong wind, the tree won't protect me. What's more? 1, 2. You're going to wear out the ground if you keep this up. Will you quit pacing? Take a deep breath. You have nothing to fear. Walk over and take Mr. Sinclair's hand in yours, smiling reassuringly. I have watched you prepare for the past several hours. You have this place memorized. I think you're ready for the morning. Well, what if I'm not? What if I fail you? Mr. Sinclair's shoulders slump as he moves away from you. If I don't win, you'll be locked in your engagement, and I won't be able to stop it. Everything will work out as long as we have each other. You and I can accomplish anything together. I believe in us. Why don't you? He believes in you. He just can believe in his aim. I don't blame him. I do believe, but I still fear what could happen. Listen, I'm scared too, but if we let our fear get the best of us, Duke Richards wins. And I refuse to give him that satisfaction. Mr. Sinclair wraps his arms around you, pulling you closer as you nestle yourself into the crook of his neck. You feel his breath on your skin, warming you against the cold night air. I don't want this moment to pass. Neither do I. Especially since this could be my last night on Earth. You can't think like that. Think of me. Stay with me, not your fears. Mr. Sinclair presses a kiss to your forehead and murmurs softly, "Oh, Bella, you're the comfort I need, the comfort I desire. I want to share every moment I can with you." You pull back to gaze into Mr. Sinclair's eyes. He runs a gentle hand along the curve of your face. "Ernest, what are you saying?" "I want to get closer with you than I ever have been, in case we never get the chance again. Will you stay the night with me?" Spend the night with him for an exclusive scene to take your relationship to the next. Basically, there's going to be a lot of bump chicka wow wow going on. Return to Edgewater for the night. Place your hands on either side of Mr. Sinclair's face and pull him close. "You are so tempting, and I want to, but not like this. Plus, it'll make you want to stay alive more, boy. When we are finally together, it shall be without a duel hanging over us. I look forward to it with bated breath. For now, I should return you to Edgewater." You nod and hop onto your horses to ride back home. The next morning, before daybreak, you and Mr. Sinclair arrive at the castle ruins before sunrise. You slide off your horse and look around the empty clearing. "I thought the others were right behind us." "Look, there they are." Follow his gaze and see Mr. Harper emerging with the rest of your friends from the woods. "Oh, this is quite fancy. Why have I never been here before?" "Perhaps because it is one of the hidden gems of this country." "My lady, sir, I wish we were meeting under better circumstances." "As do I, Mr. Harper, but it's come to this. When is Duke Richard supposed to be here? I'd like to see Mr. Sinclair put him in his place already." "If he doesn't show, does that mean he forfeits? And I can get out of this engagement?" "It would also be a stain upon his reputation." "I do like the sound of that. I hope he refuses to show his face and..." "And what, girl? Choose your words carefully." We have to. Can I just kill him now? Duke Richards and Sir Gideon ride into the clearing and dismount from their horses. The Duke marches over to Briar, but you swiftly stand in between the two of them. "Don't you dare talk to her that way." "Oh, did I upset you, my dear fiancé?" "Come, your grace, don't be distracted so easily. There's larger business to attend to. I shall be Duke Richard's second today, and yours is..." "Me." "Ah, yes, Mr. Harper, was it? I trust you're aware of the rules. Here is his grace's pistol for inspection. May I be granted the same courtesy?" Why did they need to inspect pistols? Then that is probably one of the dumbest things I ever heard of. "Yes, it's got blanks in it. We thought we'd just shoot blanks at you while you shoot real rounds." Mr. Harper trades dueling pistols with Sir Gideon, each closely inspecting the others. Duke Richards takes a step towards you and inhales deeply. "Ah, the sweet scent of what belongs to me." "Be quiet or I'll shoot you myself." "Ah, that's where you're completely wrong. I told you countless times that I want nothing to do with you. My heart and soul belong to Mr. Sinclair, not you." "Perhaps for now. In time you'll learn to enjoy my company." Duke Richards reaches out to stroke your face, but you shirk back, raising your voice as Mr. Sinclair and your friends surround you. "Do not dare touch me. I haven't given you my permission." "You heard her. Back off." "Need I remind you what occurred before?" "And here I thought we could be civilized people." "We can, just not with Duke Richard still alive. When the Duke is involved, I fear that can never be the case." Sir Gideon saunters over to the large group forming around you and holds up his hands peacefully. Ladies, gentlefolk, please. There's no need for discord. Tell that to the man holding your leash. Sir Gideon waves you past as he mutters to Duke Richards. You'll have your claim soon. The additional antagonizing is unnecessary. But I thought... And here is your pistol, Mr. Harper. I apologize for my compatriot's roughness. He is impassioned by the thought of losing his beloved. So I'm aware. Shall we discuss peace terms? But, sir, Mr. Sinclair was caught attempting to compromise Lady Bella's purity by her own fiancé. I fear we are far past diplomacy, sir. On with the duel. Sir Gideon claps his hands in excitement as Duke Richards steps in place. You approach Mr. Sinclair as he steps into place, gripping the pistol in his hand. You should have checked the ammo, I'm just saying. This is it. My love and loyalty are yours. No matter what happens, remember that I love you with all my heart. Just as I love you, Bella. I shall defeat Duke Richards, and this nightmare will finally be over. You tear yourself away from his side and retreat to a safe distance. Briar appears beside you and firmly holds your arm. Things will turn out all right. I don't think they will. I actually have a dreading feeling about this. Do you believe that? Truly? I trust in Mr. Sinclair, same as you. Pugsley sits at your feet and barks confidently. I'm glad you agree, Pugsley. I couldn't do this without you either. Mr. Sinclair stares down Duke Richards directly in front of him. Shall we have a fair fight, Your Grace? Upon my honor, as if I would have it any other way. You glance up at the sky and start to see the first rays of orange and red peek out. On my mark, our combatants would take 10 paces, turn, and fire the first shot. 1, 2, 3. Mr. Sinclair and Duke Richards take a step on each count in the opposite directions. You grip Briar's arm. 4, 5, 6. I can't watch. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's actually good. I like that. I like that. Don't you leave me with a cliffhanger. A shot echoes through the clearing. You wait for the smoke to settle, not daring to take a breath. Mother... What I just can say, don't do that! The dawn has come and pistols are drawn. Will Mr. Sinclair be crowned victorious, or will he lose your hand to Duke Richards? I'm mad now. It's a nice little screenshot there at the end. It was kind of worthy. But I'm feeling like, yeah, definitely the gun's been probably sabotaged. I don't trust Mr. Gideon. I really don't. I know Mr. Harper would not sabotage the gun. So, let's hope. Let's hope. I know. So basically, if okay, so this is correct me if I'm wrong. This is how a duel typically goes. Is they typically aim for the heart if the heart is missed and it's non-crippling. Like for instance, like he said, the hat was shot, so the guy, conceded. You don't have to concede. It then means Mr. Harper and Sir Gideon will then reload the gun, and they will take their shots again until one man gives up or dies. So, I mean, it's very interesting, really. It really is. So without further ado, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below who you think will win the duel. And, yeah, you guys should really feel free to come over to Twitch tonight. We'll be doing some Metro 2033 Redux. It's a fun game. That pretty much Metro Exodus will be coming out on the 15th of this month, and I will be doing live on Twitch. Much like we've been doing Kingdom Hearts and a bunch of other games. Having a lot of fun over here, and if you want to see yours truly, hi! You guys should really head over there. And without further ado, thanks for watching. Peace.